Okay, so the Gayatri Mantra. I bet a lot of you have heard it, right? It's one of the most famous chants on the planet. But what if I told you that the way most of us understand it as just a prayer, well, that's barely scratching the surface. What if there's actually a practical code for personal growth hidden right inside its structure? Let's dig in and see what's really going on here.
I mean, that's a pretty wild claim, isn't it? Can a single mantra, just a few ancient words, really change your life? Can it be a blueprint for transforming, well, everything? Your character, your talents, your success? It sounds almost too good to be true. But in this explainer, we're going to unpack the how behind it, the spiritual science, and you'll see, it might just be possible.
All right, so let's get into it. First things first, we've got to look beyond the melody we all know. Think of it less like a song you sing and more like a puzzle you have to solve.
Okay, so on the surface, what does it mean? The common translation is pretty straightforward. It's basically a prayer to the divine asking for something called sadbuddhi. And that just means, good, clear wisdom, a sharp intellect. And hey, that's awesome, super powerful all on its own. But here's the key. That's the meaning you get when you put all the words together.
But here's the twist. The real secret, the game-changing formula, isn't in the final sentence. It's actually encoded in the individual letters themselves, the building blocks. So, to really get it, to unlock its power, we literally have to take the mantra apart, piece by piece.
And that brings us to the absolute heart of this whole thing. What actually happens when we stop looking at the whole mantra and zoom way in, like down to the atomic level at each and every letter?
It all comes down to a number, 24. The Gayatri Mantra has exactly 24 letters. And you got to understand, this is not random. It's not just a coincidence. That number, 24, is the key. It's the entire framework for this incredible system of self-development.
So here's the big reveal. Each one of those 24 letters maps directly to a specific, essential human virtue, a core strength. It's kind of like a periodic table, but for your character. One letter might stand for success, another one for bravery, a third for cooperation, a fourth for wisdom. You get the idea. Each letter is a specific quality that we can actually develop inside ourselves to become a more complete, more powerful person.
And get this, when you really work on these virtues, when you truly embody them, the ancient texts say you achieve something called siddhis. Now hold on, siddhi isn't what you think. We're not talking about magic powers or floating or anything like that. The word literally means perfection. It's about perfecting your character, which leads to these amazing capabilities, incredible clarity, and just being so much more effective in your life. It's about taking your human potential and turning the dial all the way up.
Okay, I know this might all sound a little out there, a little abstract. But here's where it gets super interesting. There's a fantastic analogy for this that makes it all very practical, almost scientific. It asks us to think about a lack of a virtue not as some kind of moral failure, but just as a deficiency, something you can actually correct. Just think about it like this. If you go to the doctor and they say you have, a vitamin D deficiency, your health suffers, right? So what do? You take a supplement to fix the imbalance. Easy. Well, this concept says it's the exact same thing with your character. If you have a virtue deficiency, maybe you're lacking in courage, or maybe you struggle with compassion, your personality and your whole life can kind of stumble. And in this system, focused spiritual practice is the medicine. It's the treatment you use to restore that inner balance. And the result of this treatment, it's unbelievably practical. We're not talking about just becoming a good person in some vague, fluffy way. No, this is about directly sharpening your personality, boosting your natural talents, and just becoming way more effective at literally everything you do. It's a real-world upgrade.
Okay, so this probably brings up a question for you, right? It's a logical one. If the mantra is just one thing, one single source of power, how on earth can it create 24 different virtues? How can it have so many different effects on so many different people?
Yeah, it totally sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? How can one pill cure 24 different illnesses? It doesn't seem to make sense. But the source material for this explainer actually tackles this exact question head on, and it uses these really simple, brilliant analogies to clear it all up. Okay, first up, milk. It's just milk, right? One single thing. But give it to a wrestler, and their body uses it to build muscle. Give that same milk to a student studying for an exam, and their brain uses it to sharpen memory and focus. And a yogi, they might drink it to help calm their mind for meditation. See? It's the same source, but the result is totally customized to what that person needs.
Or how about this one?
money. Wealth itself is just neutral. It's a tool. In the hands of an entrepreneur, it becomes capital to build something amazing. Give it to a donor, and it becomes a way to help people. But give that exact same money to a spendthrift, and it becomes a one-way ticket to disaster. The power isn't in the money, it's in how the person uses it.
And to wrap up this whole idea, the text gives us this beautiful final image. Think about the sun. There's only one sun up in the sky. But look at the ocean. It casts millions, countless unique, shimmering reflections on the waves. Every single reflection is different. The light is the same, but the reflection is totally unique to the wave it hits. And that's exactly how this spiritual energy is said to work. It adapts to the unique needs of whoever is connecting with it.
Okay, so this all leads us to one last really deep question. Is all this personal growth something we do? Is it the result of our own hard work and effort? Or is it a gift? A blessing from some higher power? You know, the classic debate, self-effort versus divine grace.
So, on one side of the ring, you've got internal upliftment. This is the idea that you earn it. It comes from your discipline, your focus, your practice. And in the other corner, you have divine grace. The belief that these changes are a gift, a blessing that's just given to you from the outside. I mean, they seem like they're in total opposition, right? You can't have both?
But the final word on this is absolutely stunning. The text says they're not in conflict at all. In fact, they aren't even two different things. They are just two ways of describing the exact same event. It leaves us with this incredible thought to chew on. What if the effort you put in is the very thing that opens the door? And what if grace is what walks right through it?